Today we'll show you how to replace the inner tube for the Razor E200 electric scooter. First thing you gotta do is to remove the plastic chain guard. There are only 2 screws, and remove these 2 screws and you can pull the chain guard out. And then you gotta remove this cover on the top here. It's got 6 screws, 2 screws on the back here and 4 screws on the front. And then you can pull this cover out, and then you remove the axle so that you can get the wheels out. So here I already removed the wheel. Basically you just have to unscrew the nuts on both sides, and then you can pull the whole axle out, and then you can pull the chain out. Then next is the wheel. The wheel is gonna come out in one piece, including the brake. The brake drum assembly stays in the scooter. You don't have to remove this brake drum. You can just pull the wheel out from this side. Now you got the wheel out, remove the 3 screws on the top here. Then you get the sprocket out, and then underneath you got 4 bolts. You can use an Allen wrench, but usually most of the time these bolts are really stuck. So you're gonna need one of these, the impact driver, in order to get the bolts out. It's really hard to get out. Once you get the bolts out, you can remove the rim. Now you can get the tube out. I already got the tube out. This is my old tube, and on the tube itself it says 200 times 50. That's the size of this tube. I looked in Harbor Freight, and this is the closest one that I can find. It's an 8-inch inner tube, and the size is 2.5-4. So the Harbor Freight tube looks like it's a little bit bigger, but that's the closest one that I can find, but it should fit in just fine. Now it's time to put it back in the tire. To make it easy to put it in, I'm just gonna pump it up just a little bit, and then just push it in a bit tight. Here we go. It just needs a little bit of persuasion, but it goes in just fine. Now you can see this part here, it does stick out a little bit. So if you put your rim on, it will clamp on the tube. So what you gotta do is just pump it up just a little bit, so they will hook tight to the tire, so that you don't have this part sticking out. Just a little bit. Now we can put the rims back in. We got the side that has a drum and the other side without the drum. So make sure that you put the side without the drum on the valve side. Right? The valve sticks out on the side that doesn't have a drum. Otherwise you're gonna have a problem inflating the tire later. Now when you put the screws back in, don't tighten it yet, because it might clamp on the tube. So what you gotta do is pump it up just a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna pump it up just a little bit more, so that will clear the part where the 2 rims clamp together. Now I can tighten the screws. Make sure that when you tighten it, you do the opposite sides. Okay, you do 1 screw on this side, and then you do the other screw on the opposite side to make it even. And don't tighten it all the way, just a little bit at a time. Right, so now that I've tightened the screws, now you want to pump up the tire to its maximum. Okay, you don't want to do this after you install the sprocket on, or after you already put it in the scooter, because then it'll be really hard to pump the tire with everything here on it. Here we go, nice and tight. See what we got. About 29 psi. Alright, that's it. Now I just have to do the reverse. and put it back to the scooter. Now it's time to install the wheel. It's got 3 washers, so it's really a pain to put it in because everything has to line up to the main axle all at once. So to make it easy to install the wheel, don't put the sprocket in, just leave it and then install the wheel first. After that, and you can put the sprocket in. So the easiest way is to line the scooter on the side. Got this washer here, put it down, okay, and then put a screwdriver right in the center to support the washer so it doesn't fall down when I try to push it in. So I'm just gonna slide the wheel in. You see how easy it goes in. If I have this sprocket in right now, it'll be really hard to put it in there. Now I can put the sprocket in. And before you install the axle, don't forget to put in the chain first. Now that the wheel is in, I'll show you the amount of frustration that I have to go through. Total of 10 washers from end to end. On the outside, we got 2 washers on this side, 2 washers on the other side. And then next we got a small flat washer here, and we got a thick washer here. And then inside the wheel there's another washer, very long washer. And then inside of the drum we got a thick black washer, right? And then outside of the drum we got another washer here, and then another flat washer here. So there are a total of 10 washers, and it's really tight in the axle, and all of them have to line up perfectly all at the same time for me to push the axle through. It does take a little bit of time and patience.